And guys, we are live. Hello everybody. This is Nicholas.live, also known as XP. I'm here with the MyBit team at the MyBit Launchpad. We are here in Prague, Czech Republic, also known as the underground blockchain capital of the world. Now, do you guys want to introduce yourself? Ian, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm Ian, founder of MyBit. I have a background in startups and investing.
Awesome.
Cool, hey guys, I'm Will. I'm an experienced tech entrepreneur who's founded 3 tech companies before this. I have a background in economic modeling and corporate strategy, and I do business strategy and business development here at MyBit.
Hey guys, I'm Kyle. I'm working on Solidity development here at MyBit, and I have a background in Python and PHP.
Awesome.
Hi guys, I'm Ash. I'm the designer here at MyBit. My experience is 5 years in advertising and marketing, and I'll be doing everything from the web design to the app development.
Hi guys, I'm Connor. I'm one of the core blockchain engineers, primarily Solidity. My main background is Python and JavaScript.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Jose. I'm a senior front-end engineer. I'm working on developing the platform for the customers. I have around 7 to 8 years of experience working with UI platforms, developing wealth management platforms for banks in Switzerland, the US, Mexico, Canada, all over the world.
Okay. Guys, just make sure you speak up a bit so everyone can hear as well. Now, the best, this is going to be a live Q&A for the MyBit team. The best question will win 290 MyBit, which is a lot of money. It's like $800. It could be a lot more next month. Just make sure you guys, only 1 question per person, and you're limited to 1 post per 60 seconds. So make sure you post your whole question in 1 post. You guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
Sounds awesome. We already have a couple questions lined up for you guys. So, what does the team see as the most effective method for distributing the IoT profits to investors?
So the cool part about our platform is that it's all automated. So once you buy into the smart contract at the beginning of the process, you're automatically getting back ROI from an IoT device, from a solar panel, whatever vertical we're talking about, directly back into your wallet, which is really cool.
That was an easy one. Will just got it. Boom. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Now we have a question coming. Can MyBit get into real estate? Imagine having people using the platform to buy a house, and what's the protection against people not making payments? How does that exactly work?
Sure. So we're actually going to Dubai to test this out in the end of November and testing it through March of next year. And how it works is partnering with a company called Slockit to actually enforce the technology. So what you can do is use our platform to invest in commercial real estate or residential real estate and have an ownership stake in the property. Then when somebody pays their monthly rent or lease or whatever, those profits are automatically distributed back to the owners based on their share. So exactly how it works now, but without having a third-party management company take 10 or 20% fees and be a really slow process. So it's much more efficient with that. And then where Slockit fits in the picture is enforcing it. So if somebody fails to make a payment on time or whatever against the terms of the building, then their door will be locked automatically until they make payment or the owner of the building that has the other private key unlock it. And of course that's different in every jurisdiction based on laws, but Dubai is a great place to test this out, and we'll be doing it later this year.
Nice one. Okay. Good job, Ian. You guys feel free to speak up as much as you can. Now, as a team, what do you guys think are the 3 biggest strengths and weaknesses of MyBit, and how do you plan to maintain strengths and correcting the weaknesses?
3 of each.
Yeah. Just start with 1.
Okay. The strength is we're hitting a vertical that definitely needs it with investing in machines, and nobody else is doing it.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, I would say another strength is we have really good team chemistry. So we're all able to play off of each other's experience, off of each other's ideas. And I think that that's definitely one of our biggest strengths as a team overall.
That's awesome. I think 3 is too much, but we got the most important ones covered, basically.
Weakness.
Weakness.
We're too good.
Too humble.
Yeah.
Feel free to speak up, guys. I've noticed that your team includes a Chinese community manager, Hu Li. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that. What exactly is MyBit trying to achieve in China?
So that was just expanding the market to the Chinese community and doing translations just to make them feel more comfortable. So right now it was really just to get them involved and keep them up to speed. And we hope in the future, if regulation permits, that we can actually expand into China for solar and real estate, because those are huge markets there.
Nice. And what challenges are you facing right now, and do you have any plans to overcome them at this moment?
So the main challenge that I see right now is just navigating regulation. We don't have any direct challenges, but we see that and we're planning to, anticipating is the right word for that. Just with regulations, with token sales and with district fractional ownership and a few things. But we're very selective on what countries we enter into, which just helps greatly with that. So I'd say that's the biggest challenge.
Okay. And can we get an approximate timeline of which revenue streams MyBit team will tackle in which order?
Yeah, sure. So when the platform goes live in Q1 of next year, the two industries that we'll definitely have right now are solar and real estate. And those revenue streams will kick in near instantaneously once those start generating revenue. So we'll see it end of Q1, really early Q2 next year. After that,
yeah, I mean, one of the cool things about what we're building is that it's so open and it has the potential to impact so many different verticals that once we establish a beta and move forward with one or two of our primary verticals, which are real estate and solar panel, as Ian just mentioned, there's kind of a lot that we can do after that, which is something that we're really excited about.
Nice. Nice one, Will. I help fund solar farm with a 5-year contract. 1 year in, farm is destroyed by a natural disaster. Will there be a type of insurance in place to compensate investors that funded the contract? So basically, what happens if that IoT device is destroyed?
That's a good question.
Yeah, so we have contingency plans in that scenario, and there's a lot of complex, really niche questions that you can ask about insurance and maintenance. And next week, I'm going to be doing a video log where I talk to you guys kind of one-on-one and explain in depth the deep mechanics of the platform and what happens in kind of crazy, outlandish eventualities like that.
yeah, and just say it simply, the insurance will be a part of the platform.
Oh, so it's included.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that as an actual investor too.
The owner would also probably have insurance, I think.
Oh, the owner as well?
Solar panels. You would think they would have insurance, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Insurance is automatically included.
Yeah.
that's awesome.
It's part of the package.
You gotta speak up.
Yeah.
Can we get a possibility to withdraw only a part of initial investment of an IoT device and not the full amount? Is that possible?
So when you invest in it, those funds are locked and those are gone. But what you can do is sell your ownership stake. And that's one of the biggest things that drive me to develop the platform how it is, traditionally when you invest in solar panels, you don't get any money back until, 5 or a 10-year period when you get all your money back through an ROI. With this, you can sell your revenue streams or your ownership stake to somebody else if you need cash quick. You can also sell just a fraction of the ownership stake that you own.
Yeah. So think about how interesting that is. So now, not only can you buy into a revenue stream that's being generated by an IoT device, but it's also liquid. As Ian was just mentioning, you can then sell it when you want to. So you have a lot of flexibility and a lot of options to really get involved with investing in IoT devices.
Okay, I think I got an interesting question for you guys. So we got a question asking, are you considering adding a vertical which will finance equipment that isn't IoT capable but can be backed by a contract that promises an ROI per year?
That's a really interesting
Yeah,
question.
that's very interesting.
Yeah, what do you think, Connor?
I think we can do it if we do it offline, but then that brings some complications. But that's an area that we'll look into definitely.
That's a great suggestion. Nice.
If it was a fixed return on investment, I don't see why not.
Yeah, completely.
Surely then anything could be hooked up to the platform.
You guys heard it. So if you got a good suggestion, I mean, the team is ready to implement it if it's possible, of course. And as for peer-to-peer trading, decentralized energy will change or save the planet. What plans does MyBit have to operate in other regions, for instance, Africa?
So for actually energy trading or for... kind of just moving our platform into an emerging market.
Decentralized energy. So I'm actually thinking
like
they're referring to the solar. Okay.
Yeah, so what we want to do first is just launch in established markets that we know very well throughout the EU and Dubai. And emerging markets are a major vertical that we want to target. There's just a lot of regulation, insurance implications, unstable government. So it's something that we 100% have plans for because we see how that has a major impact on the world and the people that live in those communities. But it's something that we'll really assess after year one when the platform's up and running, if it's feasible to do and economic for all of us and the token holders.
Okay. Thanks for the answer, Ian. Now, what are some ways to incentivize people to start using the platform once it comes out? So how do you get the thing rolling?
You got it?
Yeah. So
There you go.
we have implemented a holding feature that incentivizes individuals to actually put tokens in the platform, and for set days you will get an X return of the transaction fee, which will be spread upon the people that are in the set days for holding the tokens. Is there anything that we can really expand? As well as you have the capabilities of using the platform by holding tokens.
And then from a consumer standpoint, it's a pretty easy sell. You can get solar energy for free. From an investor standpoint, it's awesome because I see the machine economy as a multi-billion-dollar investment opportunity that's upcoming. Investing in solar panels, investing in self-driving cars. And right now there's no platform that would easily enable you to do that. So that's where we fit in, and it seems like it's going to be very big.
Definitely. And since IoT is still a relatively new idea, people are still skeptical about its security, like getting hacked or broken devices. How would you convince investors?
So, IoT's been around for a long time. Your phone is an IoT device. Like most things that you interact with on a daily basis are IoT. I think it's the autonomous aspect that's really the new thing that's coming along. And that really factors in insurance and just, protecting with existing structures, protecting those assets in a way you would protect, a house from a hurricane or a car from an accident. It's very similar to that.
And also, we do due diligence before we invite an installer to be part of the platform. So if we come across an IoT device that we think is really susceptible to being hacked or isn't secure or doesn't produce a stable stream of ROI, then we don't necessarily have to add it to our platform to begin with.
Makes total sense. Now, are you considering any airdrops for current holders of MyBit token?
Yeah, so there's this really cool technology where you can geofence or geolocate a specific area for like meetups and stuff, and when you enter into the venue, then it'll automatically rain MyBit. And we're actually planning on testing this out in next year when we start hosting a lot more meetups and attending more conferences across the world.
That is a very cool thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love that. And have you considered adding a feature like a job board, where loaners and people getting the loan can mutually agree on a contractor, or are you actually keeping the decision of the contractor to yourself?
So initially, the first thing is this isn't a loan at all. What it is you're purchasing an actual ownership stake into the asset, and you'll get entitled to part of those revenue streams. So it's not like you're loaning out 10,000 euro to somebody to install solar panels and then they pay you back. You're actually buying a piece of the solar panels on their house, and when it generates electricity and they sell it back to the grid or in the future peer-to-peer, you make money off of that. What was the second part of that question?
Actually picking the contractor.
Right. So initially we're just doing one contractor, maybe two contractors, but as we expand, that's definitely a possibility.
Awesome. You guys are open to anything.
Yes.
This is a more like easy question about a specific date, if you have it. When the new website will be going live?
Yeah, so we're working on the website full steam right now.
As of today.
And
Right.
yeah, I think within a month we'll have the new website up and running.
Awesome, can't wait to see it. And what is your plan when the AI Wineston becomes so intelligent? do they start purchasing tokens and investing themselves to enjoy their own dividends?
AI DAOs. AI DAOs are awesome, but I'll talk on that because he loves them.
I mean, that totally depends on like the intelligence of the AI, and me personally, I don't see a problem with it if the AI is investing intelligently.
Of course,
yeah.
I mean, there is a very smart quote that the best investment you can make is in yourself. So it does make some type of sense.
Tell that to the AI.
Well played. You thought of that before this.
Let's move on to a bit more of a serious question. Now, are there plans to release a MyBit wallet so we as investors don't have to rely on third-party wallets to handle our funds?
So since it runs off of Ethereum, for actually storing the MyBit tokens, it wouldn't really make sense to do that. But what we will do is make a web wallet and an easy-to-use interface where you can just track, revenue distributions and store small amounts of tokens there. So it's an easier tool. But still, when you're actually storing any type of cryptocurrency, you should keep it in a very stable wallet that's been around for years and keep it offline. So it would not be a good idea for us to do that from a security aspect.
Totally.
And
yeah.
a wallet will be built in with the platform, won't it?
Yeah.
So that's an option.
The actual platform will be the wallet itself as well. So
Yeah.
it's already built in.
Just to mention as well, most crypto companies, that's what they're doing. Coming from Switzerland, they have a lot of people doing the crypto wallet. That's exactly what I do, and they are making sure the platform handles that, but they trust the actual wallets that they know how to do that to hold the tokens.
Yeah.
Now you have a person who's interested in your marketing strategy. Are you able to reveal some of your plans to make more people to adopt this platform? Actually, at the end, we'll be making an announcement, so make sure you stay up until the end about a new movement MyBit is creating. But can you reveal anything right now? About your current marketing?
So the current marketing for the MyBit platform will be using individual modules for the different industries we want to target. So for example, we're starting off with solar, so that'll be the first one we're going to concentrate on. And then we'll be doing the same different sub-modules for the different IoT devices. So the benefit of that is that if you're interested in solar power, you don't have to be overloaded with information about all the other different IoT devices. Right, on the MyBit platform, you can just focus on the one that you're interested in, you want to invest in, or you want to crowdfund. So we're trying to separate it to try and get maximum exposure for the different individual IoT sectors from a marketing point of view.
Makes perfect sense because it just makes it easy to target, each target group specifically. But you also, give an option to invest into anything as well if they want to learn more and get better. Now, it does seem like a popular use of the ETH, Ethereum, and blockchain platform, but what will set you apart from other competitors and why would someone choose MyBit? So they're basically asking, do you even have competitors and what sets you apart?
Yeah.
I mean, I myself do a lot of ICO, like independent coin offering research, and I have a team behind me. And there is nothing like this at the moment. I mean, MyBit, by the time anything can even come close, MyBit is going to be up and running and very, very functional. But I just don't see anybody else.
I mean, what really differentiates us too, because the majority of the platform is open source, it has to be for a decentralized application. It's the partnerships that we're creating with IoT providers, which makes it really other competitors unable to tap into it like we will, because we'll be far enough in advance with that somebody can't just clone our repos and then whip out another iteration of this.
Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, a lot of companies think, or a lot of people in the industry think that you can just gather a bunch of people and then just build a company just like that. Well, in reality, it's way more harder than that. So it will take a lot of time to actually, find the right combination, the right amount of people to actually develop something that it comes even close. I mean, there's already in the software engineering industry, so to speak, there's a lack of people that know AI, that have good taste of design, that know how to do development in front end. And now if you add that to the knowledge that you need to have in the blockchain industry, I mean, there's probably only a few thousand people that can actually work on projects like that, and it's very hard to get a hold of them, and some of them are here, so.
I mean, I just see MyBit being so advanced. There's nothing like us. Now, are there any plans to partner with existing companies who will be like a big part of the machine economy, like Amazon and Uber? What are your plans?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what we're targeting, and we're actually using that for marketing exposure as well. We help, for something with Uber, we help them, sell when they move into self-driving cars. We help them finance that and create an opportunity for investing in them, and then because of that, they will co-market with us. And as a startup, we only have so much marketing capacity. Uber has phenomenal marketing capacity. So really like tapping into that, providing value to them, and our return value is heavily in credibility and marketing on that.
Now, could anybody good with the law and economy answer this simple question? Basically, they want to know, why isn't MyBit a security?
Yeah, sure. So the main thing that is a very hard question to answer, actually.
Blurry.
Yeah, it's blurry. It's just not that we're not a security at all. We've done like the Howey test and everything. It's just like legally, I don't want to say something I shouldn't. But in reality, so my token is a security if it represents obviously like equity within a company, which it does not here. What MyBit does is the network access token. So you use it to access the MyBit network, and it's very similar to pre-selling like software as a service access codes. And then once the software goes live, then you redeem those to use the platform. So that's where there's actually utility in the token versus just, a representation of like equity or something where you passively receive money. You're actually going to be using it. So that's what differentiates it and makes it not a security.
Yeah, there's a ton of value created by the token internally within the platform itself. And Connor hinted at it earlier, but we've created a system where just by holding tokens and having them locked, you're actually earning back transaction fees on the network. And Ian hinted at it just now, you also need to have a certain amount of tokens locked to even access the network to begin with. And like I mentioned earlier, next week I'm going to dive into the really nitty gritty specific parts of that system that we've created so you guys can understand it better. But in essence, that's why it's not a security, because there is tangible, unique, differentiated value created by the MyBit token directly integrated into our platform.
And we have another question. I mean, that's a great answer. We have another question for you. Like when funding a new project, if it costs $25,000, for example, for a solar project, and the MyBit's price is currently $20 per MyBit, what does that mean? Like, how will MyBit be used, and what if nobody wants to basically sell their MyBit? Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, so if the asset, in this case we're talking about solar panels, if the solar panel costs $25,000 and only $20,000 is contributed by the community, so you guys and investors to the project, then the smart contract doesn't execute, and the money that was in the smart contract is distributed back to the people that invested it in the first place.
Now, I think this question was actually asking, how will MyBit itself be used if it's not liquid enough? Because people don't want to force it.
Yeah. Oh, okay, I see now. Yeah, so we're actually starting with using Ether on the platform as the actual lifeblood for the funding cycle, because we have, as you mentioned, a liquidity problem with MyBit on the back end. So if a smart contract reaches the $25,000 fundraising goal, and we then send that money to our partner, being in this case a solar panel installer, in the form of MyBit, it's really hard for them to liquidate it currently into tangible dollars so that they can cover the cost of operating and the cost of installing their services or their goods and employing their services. But once we do achieve a point where we've scaled enough and MyBit is liquid enough on the market, then we're planning on integrating MyBit directly into the funding cycle on the platform.
And we're planning on making that happen as soon as we possibly can. We're working with like market makers and exploring a lot of solutions, but we don't want to impede the launch of the platform just because of the liquidity thing, because it's a very like chicken and egg thing.
Yeah.
So we can launch it with Ether. There's still utility value of MyBit, which will go in next week, and it's not complicated. It's just a lot of information. So that's why he's doing a separate video blog next week on that, just to clearly explain it. But we are working to make that happen as soon as possible.
Yeah, guys, make sure you stay tuned for next week's blog update from Will. He's gonna explain the details of how actual MyBit and Ether will be used at the moment when the platform is released. And now, will the token supply remain at 2.8 millions?
That is so. We are authorized to issue and spread out into the community up to 5 million, so it'll never go over 5 million tokens. Right now, we don't know a definite if we're going to keep it at 2.8 or if it will rise to 5, but that would be the all-time max that it could be at.
But the maximum cap is always going to be 5
Yeah,
million,
exactly.
and that's very, very low, regardless. Now, will there be a controlled asset listing and schedules? I'm not sure what this means. Do you know what that means? That's not a clear question. I'm sorry, Quasta. Now, does anyone of the MyBit team have plans to fund personal IoT uses with the platform?
God, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, yes.
From Mexico, and just like plant all my solar panels over there.
I'm all about real estate. Like,
Yeah.
investing in real estate right now is so hard to do because I don't trust anybody with my money.
Yeah.
And like giving it to a fund to invest for me and then waiting on returns, like I'm afraid to do that. But when I can directly invest in something, that's great. And then self-driving cars, and like I love AI, so like self-driving cars and drones. And I see it, the machine economy being, you know, just as big as investing in stocks because you have all these machines, billions, hundreds of billions of devices that are generating revenue that you can tap into over the next 5 years. So yeah, we're all planning on investing in a wide range of things.
Yeah, it's pretty cool because it's unlocking a new class of investments for everybody. So it's really exciting, and I'm personally going to be jumping into that. But I'm really excited about the fact that when you lock your tokens, your money is making money for you. You're getting transaction fees back just for having MyBit tokens. So that's what I'm most personally excited about the mechanics of the platform.
I mean, the whole reason this project was started in the first place was to make a new type of investment possible.
Yep.
And it's better because you see, you know, if I put money into a fund that invests in like real estate or whatever, if they don't fully allocate my money, it's not making money while it's sitting there. And you're losing like opportunity cost on that. But with MyBit, while you're unsure of investments, it's generating revenue by contributing to the platform. It's awesome.
Yeah, don't forget that everybody has like a pretty good background in terms of finance investing. I mean, there's one of the reasons why we're doing that.
Yeah, your guys' team is just so strong in financing, it's amazing. Now, this is a fun question, like, can you use MyBit to fund a portion of an exchange, like Bittrex or Kyber Network, and generate a return on investment in a different type of way like that?
Like a digital way. Do you want to talk about that? Because you talked about like the e-learning type thing.
Yeah, so I was thinking of online learning as like one area of digital asset that you could invest in. We're still playing with the idea, but it's actually pretty good area to get into because it's all digital, so you don't have to deal with the real world gaps of funding Ethereum to dollars. And so, yeah.
Basically, we're looking into all those possibilities. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, so the question was, could you create a decentralized exchange?
There's some
And
type of digital
that was
asset.
funded.
Yeah.
That could be possible. It could be
Yeah.
a decentralized autonomous organization.
Or
that was
even
funded
creating
through-
like a DAO, like an AI DAO,
yeah.
and funding it through our platform. Like there's a lot of things you can do on the digital space.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then you could get the transaction fees from the exchange to go back to the token holders. Yeah.
There you go. Anything's possible. I like that. I mean, just the actual platform, like once it's up and running, the potential will be endless because there is so many implications, or as you call it, verticals that are possible. And we're just starting one or two this year, and next year it's going to be amazing. And let's move on to a more serious question. Now, can you, and I'm trying to interpret this real quick. When you invest in a project, what will be the method of payment? I think we already covered this with Ethereum and MyBit, right?
Yeah, I think we already covered that.
Okay, so stay tuned for next week's video, yeah.
But the payments to the token holders will be in Ether, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if we mentioned that, but yeah.
But it's also very easy to layer over something like Shapeshift or an exchange where you could, by default the platform will do it in Ether, but you could receive it in MyBit, you could receive it in Bitcoin. And we want to make it where you could receive it in fiat currency, like dollars, euro. But there could be transaction fees, which could make that unusable. But there's a lot of options you can do and layer over, so it's flexible.
Totally.
Now, with the constant technological innovation, how do you guys deal with the increased solar panels efficiency to a maximum range, since year after year the solar panels are improving themselves?
Right. So for current solar models, that's where it gets kind of tricky. Like if you invested 10 years ago in solar versus investing now, and that's where we just give investors the flexibility to choose on that. But what's great about it is since solar is constantly getting more efficient and the cost of implementing them is going down, your returns are just going up every single year, and it's rising at a ridiculously fast rate with efficiency and the cost reduction. So it's just getting more profitable every year.
I mean, that much covers everything, and we do have a couple more questions left now. I'm not sure if you can answer this myself, I'm not sure what this means. Won't the Ethereum blockchain be too slow for IoT applications? Does that make sense? No?
I don't think it is too slow. Ethereum's increasing its speed every single day. So, yeah.
And you just keep the core functions on Ethereum, like processing it. You can store like the data in the metering off-chain and just relay like the non-critical information that would log it or slow it down. You wouldn't need to do that.
Absolutely. And Ethereum's coming out with new scaling methods that will...
Plasma and a few other things.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're exploring fully on-chain, half off-chain, on-chain, and different types to see what is the most effective for the users in terms of gas cost and for the MyBit team as well. So we're researching what's the most efficient way of doing it. So yeah.
Ooh, I like this as an actual possible feature. Now, with the MyBit platform being peer-to-peer, will there be some part of the social aspect of investors being able to connect with the person they invest in, or will they just be strictly for the projects itself?
Yeah, so we were playing around with implementing a voting system to see which projects end up higher on the listing page, and we think that could be really cool because then the community, the investors can go in and say, oh, we like this one, upvote this one, or oh, this project we don't like as much, downvote it. And it also gives the person who listed it in the first place reason to be really excited and spread the word and talk about it, because at the end of the day, they really want to get the solar panel, and if the best way to do that is to implement a social aspect and get steam behind it that way, then more power to them.
And I think on a simpler level, people's money will decide which projects naturally rise to the top, right? So the ones that are getting the investment are the ones that will be up there at the top.
Oh yeah, so basically the one that's most funded will be visible at the moment.
So you are voting with your money.
I'll be right back. Let me just put this computer on the charger. And would you guys like to say what's your favorite question so far?
I personally liked the AI DAO one with because I love those so much. They're awesome.
And
I like the one who was asking about back-end liquidity on MyBit. I thought that was pretty insightful.
Yeah, that was a great question.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed by that question.
Yeah, that was a question we grappled with.
I'm going to go with the decentralized autonomous organizations that are crowdfundable.
Absolutely, I really like that.
That is cool.
Yeah,
I also really like it.
I can switch that one.
Yeah, I really like the artificial intelligence ones already, because there's this really good book by this Oxford professor, I think his name is Nicholas. He talks about like super intelligence, how they can, I mean, we might not understand fully what we think artificial intelligence might do, and we might think about it and we might think that it's funny, but at some point when that happens, we might not be able to control it. It's more like hypothetical things, but I mean, yeah, just ask Elon Musk, like.
Just send him an email.
Just make sure your Ether wallet is in there.
Perfect, guys. So what was the favorite question again? Can you repeat it?
I think it was the decentralized organizations that are fundable. Crowdfunding,
decentralized exchanges.
Like Bittrex. Okay. Yeah, I definitely like that one too. So make sure you post your Ethereum addresses. We'll definitely get Josh to send you the actual 290 MyBits. So I think you guys got a winner already. That was a nice question.
Guys, those are some great questions.
Now make sure you guys stay tuned for next week. There'll be a vlog that's gonna talk about the specifics of the MyBit and Ethereum and its use in the platform itself. Now, do you guys have any updates you want to talk about real quick?
Ash, you had something that you wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah, so from a marketing standpoint, the first focus is going to be solar. And to get people who might not be that into other IoT devices and not know a lot about cryptocurrencies, we'll be focusing and creating a module that is focused from a visual communications and a user point of view directed just to people who are interested in solar panels, and we'll be using that to tap into existing clean energy and a lot of grassroots movements that are within the solar space at the minute.
So essentially what it is we're helping fund and organize a grassroots movement that prevents the monopolization of the sun. And that sounds crazy, but it's true. Like, you've seen it with like oil and telecom and every sort of like resource and service where it ends up being monopolized and held by very few people at the expense of the majority of the world. And we don't want to see that happen with, solar energy. And, we think that for something to be truly sustainable and have the impact that it will, this needs to be decentralized. And that's why we're really going to be pushing this non-monopolization of the sun. And what that will involve later this year and into next year is meetups and parties and events all over the world, really highlighting that and focusing on just community movements and really just getting all people from all sorts of backgrounds involved in it. And it'd be really powerful.
That's awesome. What's the website again?
OpenSunlight.com.
Okay, I'll make sure to link that website in the description, and you guys can go check it out. And that's
It's going to be a little bit delayed. Give us 5 minutes. Working on that.
Okay, so you're actually putting that website right now online. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're
Build
good
the whole
at
thing.
publishing, like loading.
You built it while we were answering questions.
Just like, yeah.
Man, you guys are awesome. Well, that's about it. You stay tuned for more Q&As and definitely watch out for those vlogs coming up. You guys have anything else to say?
No, I would just say, like tomorrow or this weekend, check out opensunlight.com. And it's a very basic website right now, but we have 2 options of participating. We have a kind of a watermark social component where you can get it onto your social media and help spread awareness, or you can request to learn more information about our ambassador program, where you'll actually be incentivized and paid to host parties and events and some really cool stuff around the world. So if you want to get more involved with MyBit or you're really into solar, definitely go on, enter your email, and we'll follow up with you over the next few weeks and get this ball rolling. It's going to be a lot of fun and have a lot of impact too.
Yeah, definitely. I would like to just kind of end off with, we've talked a lot about investing in finance on the platform, but something that we haven't really touched on until now is that we're also helping make solar panels more accessible to people across the world eventually. And that's something that does a lot of social good, and that's something that we really need to be addressing collectively if we're going to solve this massive energy problem that we're inevitably all going to face.
That's a perfect way to end it. Well, guys, thank you for coming to the MyBit Launchpad and being the whole team. And you guys want to say hi to everybody?
Hey guys.
Hey!